Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again early this morning, doing what I always do, trying to find a way to deliver a message to you that will excite you about the potential that we as human beings have and would draw you toward that potential and flip us and we go a different way in life. You know, I have in my lifetime as a social scientist and as a person who just believes that every individual is very important as I am, and is as deserving as I am. And it tells me as I observe things that's happening that we have some kind of connection with the beast, the wild animals. If you've ever seen them on television, you watch them how they survive. And oftentimes it appears as if we might be doing some of those same kinds of things, but we as human beings supposedly have evolved from that wild animal state. We've learned to a method, that there is a method to life. We don't destroy. What we do as human beings is we build. Now, a lot of us don't know this, but as humans on earth, ladies and gentlemen, as humans on earth, we are to create. We are to build. We are to cause a manifestation that comes as a result of our imagination and bring into reality that which was unknown and now make it known, giving purpose to life. You see, the first things, as I talk to you about, just generally living a life that's a life. The first things that we as human beings have to recognize that we have a common desire to survive. That's number one, survival. And that would include making sure that we got food to eat, making sure that we got clothing, that we got shelter. These things, primary. And then making sure that we have education, making sure that we have health care. This is what we, the human beings here on earth, come to do. We are here to look after one another, to make sure that there's transportation for everybody, to make sure that the infrastructure is designed as our hearts would have it to be, that we would build planes and ships and spaceships, all the kind of things that our imagination will call us into doing. And we are to do this to provide for one another. We recognize that we benefit from the resources of the earth, and the resources are free. They come with the earth. And we give our talents to engage, to create an abundance of these things that we have determined. And yet each of us done the career, a job that we get our greatest joy from. And this kind of living gives us peace and prosperity. It gives us freedom. It gives us happiness and joy. And our dreams come true. And the things that we need, we want, we desire, we have it all. We suffer for nothing. This is the kind of living that teaches us to continue to live like this. And if we perhaps have not conquered sickness and disease, and we do get caught up and die from stuff like that, and if we find ourselves in excruciating pain, we do not have to continue in that pain. We, the sick person, can make the decision as to whether we want to end it or whether we want to stay around. And if we want to end it, we can end it. Isn't that a wonderful life? An absolutely wonderful life. But I want you to know something else, ladies and gentlemen. That life there is a life that is created by we the people. we the people respecting one another because we respect ourselves, and we demand that you respect us. So we respect one another, and we utilize that which has been given for the benefit of us all. And so it ends up fantastic. But there's another way of living. Now, in that way of living, you have billionaires, you have multimillionaires and millionaires. In other words, you got a lot of rich people. But not only that, you got more poor people than rich people. You got crime and violence as a result of the poverty. You got hatred that's going on in the community. There's racism. There's bigotry. There's a lot of lying and cheating and stealing. There's pain and suffering. There's terror. Oh, man. And there's war. Now, this is a system that is absent the respect for one another. This is the system that says selfishness. This is a system that's result is me, mine. And they have put a way of judging on it by rather than doing stuff for one another, now you can do stuff for money. You get the money and you can do what you want done. And it doesn't have to involve anybody else. In other words, you can end up with a couple of mansions. You can end up with maybe several exotic automobiles, expensive automobiles. You can have your jets and planes to fly wherever you might want to go, whenever you might want to go. You have access to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. Many of you have that to do. That's the result of choosing this life. But the rest are slaves, working hard day to day by the sweat of their brow, believing that if they just keep on keeping on and don't rock the boat, that one day they might be delivered by a power called God or Jesus, whatever they might want to call it. They continue to be a slave, following the dictates of what somebody told them before: you will not surely die. And every person that's living in a godless society does so because they are dead. And anybody that's dead living in hell, who for some strange miracle is born again, hell is going to change or they will get killed. Put it straight up blunt, ladies and gentlemen. If you worth 10 cents for God, heaven is going to love you because hell is going to change. See, here's the thing. A heavenly figure, a heavenly spirit cannot exist in hell. It just cannot. So what usually happens, if you can't exist and you stay there, you usually conform. You conform. That's what happened in the world today. You got a lot of wonderful, wonderful people. A lot of good people who call themselves doing all kind of good things, who pray and give thanks to God all the time. But they're serving the ungodliness. They are serving a system that disrespects God. And the disrespect is evidenced in the things that I just got through mentioning to you. And so when you hear me come in talking to you about basic human rights for all people, I'm trying to see if I can get you to imagine. Maybe that's it. Imagine a world that's better than America, that's better than Russia, that's better than China, that's better than Africa, that's better than any place. And it's of our creation. We, the people, all of us, all over the globe, doing things for one another, not for money, not for big shots, not for power, national. No, we're doing it for one another. We are doing it for life. so that we can live. Live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.